That doesn't matter.
Yo, every time I make one of these, everyone goes, make another one, make another one. So I'm making another one. I'm talking about the semifinal workouts for the Masters athletes. I'm actually excited to talk about this. I'm excited to talk about it because I think that it's one of the best new agely programmed CrossFit competitions, that is. You know, Dave Castro's not making these workouts anymore, and I think that this is probably one of the best well-rounded takes on what it looks like to have a competition at this level. What do I look for? And I just made that video on the Old Guy Inc. talking about how I don't know anything. It's like I'm not the best thing since sliced bread when it comes to talking about workouts, but I do have my opinions on them, and I think a lot of you guys have shared my opinions on these workouts. So what do I look for on these things? One of the biggest things I look for is whom they're written for, and for the most part, you want them to be unbiased. You don't want them to be favored towards one side or the other. So my biggest issue with the syndicate workouts were the machines. If every single workout has a machine, you're all of a sudden favoring it towards a larger athlete. Larger athletes have an advantage on the machine, doesn't matter.
This doesn't matter.
Who is doing it? If you have the fittest person on earth versus somebody like Half Thor with a motor, Half Thor with a motor is going to beat you on that machine.
Never to breathe. Never to breathe.
Mass moves mass on everything that very much goes into a wattage-based piece of equipment that is the erg, the assault bike, any single one of those things. So what I think of is I think of that person like Half Thor. If you had a workout that was, let's say, 700-pound deadlifts, you had to go do 30 of them for a time, he's going to beat everybody. Why? Because nobody else can do it. Now, that's an extreme example, but on the other end of the extreme examples would be something like max effort iron cross hold on the rings. Some of you guys may have seen people doing iron crosses. People in the Olympics do it, and it's like one of those skills that they just kind of do. They throw it in there because it's so easy for them. It's easy for them, but not many CrossFitters can do it. So you enter the CrossFit competition, and you look at the 700-pound deadlift, and then you look at the iron cross hold, and you're like, okay, we can't do any single one of those things. Right in the middle would be a workout like Friendly Friend, in my opinion, because it's not really favored towards a big person. It's not really favored towards a little person. High power output, low power output. I think it's a great test because the 115 barbell, it's not super light, but it's not super heavy. It's kind of light moderate. If you're bigger, you move it faster. The chest to bar pull-ups are something that at a certain level becomes a little bit more towards the small side of it, but it's a well-balanced workout in my opinion, that being Friendly Friends. Now, when you're running a workout, there's going to be things that edge more towards the Half Thor 700-pound deadlift workout, and then there's things going to be edge more towards the iron cross hold type workout. So when I look at a competition, and I'm going to look at these semifinals workouts for the Masters in particular, if I were to just break these things down bit by bit, the first workout is favored towards a bigger person. The second workout is favored towards a smaller person. You know, they go this way and then they go this way. The third workout is favored towards a bigger person. It's all snatches. The fourth workout is favored towards a little person. Now the snatch workout, very strongly favored towards a bigger person. The handstand walk workout, very strongly favored towards a smaller person. Those first two, bigger advantage, smaller advantage. Not as big of an advantage as the other two, but they're still like going either way, and either way still we're right in the middle because one person had one upper hand, the other person had another upper hand. And then we get to something that in my opinion would just be completely work output. So you have this wall ball madness. Sure, wall balls are yes for a bigger, larger individual, and for every single competition there is probably going to be a slight bias towards bigger people, smaller people, whatever. It's very, very challenging to program something that somebody is going to win. So the argument here is that if you are indeed a smaller person, you want to have the fitness to overcome your size discrepancy. And then of course there is that heavy barbell at the end afterwards on workout number 6. If I were to look at this, I would say that it is indeed favored towards a larger individual based off of what I just told you right there. So if you were a Masters athlete on the smaller end, you may have a more challenging time qualifying into the next level of competition, which would be the CrossFit Games. So although I do think it is biased towards a larger athlete, that doesn't mean that I think it's a bad competition, because every single year there are biases one way or the other. And for this year on these semifinal workouts for this age group qualifier, it is biased towards a larger athlete. That doesn't mean it's going to be the same next year. If you are indeed trying to be the fittest person on earth in this category, you would need to overcome the programming to an extent or degree. You don't want to be dependent dependent on the programming going your way every single year. You want to be so fit that you overcome the programming. Something you see the Matt Frazier, Tia Toomeys, and Rich Fronings do in the open division. So now let's look at each and every workout. Looking at workout number 1, you have the 500 meter row, 30 bench press, 1000 meter row, 20 bench press, 2000 meter row, and 10 bench press. I'm going to look at the 35 to 39 division for each of them. On the other divisions, the weights might be a little bit lighter. The heights might be a little bit shorter on some of them. For the most part, they're pretty similar. This one makes me think a lot about the pump and row challenge, those row challenges that they've got. It was the 2K row, and then every single bench press that you could get at body weight would eliminate seconds upon your score. I think whomever would do well at that sort of a workout will also do well at this workout. So whoever has the best strength to weight ratio on a bench press is probably going to do really well. Of course, so long as you can keep up a relatively good pace on the erg. Unlike the row challenge, you're going to have somebody who is larger, powering the erg, and then the bench press bar is not standardized towards weight, which is okay. I don't know if I'm ever going to figure CrossFit will standardize the weight. I don't think that they should standardize weights, and I think that they do a good job of offsetting it with the workouts that I've told about later. Here, it's going to end up being about 12 to 15 minutes of rowing for the males and the females in these categories, as long as they're keeping it at a good clip, and it's going to be very much about the bench presses. Bench presses in the post-Dave Castro era are really coming into play here. I'm a big fan of the bench press. I love the bench press, and there are 60 bench presses here at 185 for the guys and 125 for the girls, and that is going to make or break the workout. A lot of CrossFitters can row relatively similar, and they're not going to win the workout on the rower. You're going to win or lose the workout on the bench press. I think that it's a good thing that we had a little bit of exposure to the bench press in the quarterfinal, where now everybody knows you got to keep your hips on the bench, so hopefully that's not going to be too big of an issue. People will be trying to grind out reps at certain points in time. Workout number 2. 8 rounds of 1 legless row climb, 6 farmer's carries, and 15 box jumps. The weight on the farmer's carry, 2 32-kilogram kettlebells, which are the 70s. That's for the males. For the females, you've got the 24-kilogram kettlebells. Those are the 53s. And it's to a 30-inch box. So I kind of do like this workout. I like it because it's kind of grip intensive. You can look at it and you know what the point is. You want to have them doing the legless row climbs. You want to have them doing it under the grip fatigue that is the farmer's walk. Those things are going to be working against one another. 30-inch box, that's a cool thing, but I do think that they should have just gotten rid of the 30-inch box and they should have made it all grip, but that's my take. That doesn't mean it's a better or a worse workout. Maybe they wanted a triplet. I do think that they're going to kind of continue to get this entire thing fucked up when they have, oh, you got to do 6 farmer's carries, and on this one, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and if it were shuttle runs and you had to do 6 of them, it's 1, 2, see what I'm doing here? So you have to go down and back on the shuttle run, and you only have to go down for the farmer's carry. At some point in time, they're going to need to get that squared away. Maybe they're going to fix that from this point on forward, because this is how I should think the shuttle runs would be doing. So it's going to confuse way less people. But overall, I like this workout. Like I said, the other one's favored towards a bigger person. This one is favored towards a smaller athlete. Workout number 3. I've done this one. I did this one at semifinals last year, Atlas Games. This is the 10 snatches, rest a minute, 10 snatches, rest a minute, 10 snatches, rest a minute, max snatches. The weights are 135, 185, 225, and 245. Those are the same weights that I had to use. If I recall top of my head, I think I got 8 snatches at the 245 bar, and I think I had 3 or so minutes to get those 8 snatches at the end of the ladder. The females' weights were 85, 125, 145, and 165, and I think that the top scores in the world, they were getting something like 20 snatches, so I was 12 snatches off. It was like the Fikowskis, the Guy Malheroses of the world were getting a lot of snatches towards the back end. So it is cool to see, like, hey, how are the Masters athletes going to do on this workout, because they didn't have the opportunity to do it last year. So unlike the rope climb workout, which I think was an idiotic idea to repeat at these semifinals, I think that this is a rather cool time to throw in some sort of a repeat workout. Maybe we're seeing repeat workouts in this level of competition. They're grabbing from past high-level end workouts, that being the regional era and the semifinal era of last year, and they're throwing them into the semifinal competition for the individuals in the Masters this year. So that's kind of cool. I would have to bet that any number of snatches at that final barbell at this age level is going to be a good score, maybe a top 10er, possibly even just top 5. It'll be interesting to see. That's all. Cool workout there. And that's even cooler that it's very much towards the larger athlete when you've got this next one, which is very much towards the smaller athlete, that being a 12-minute AMRAP. You've got 50 GHD sit-up, 8 handstand walk, 50 GHD sit-up, 8 handstand walk into max bar muscle-ups with the time remaining. Everything is body weight. Everything's favored towards the smaller athlete. The 8 handstand walks are in the same sense of the farmer's carry, so that isn't going to confuse people the same way it may have in any other stages of competition. motion. So 8 handstand walks is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Makes sense. Okay. So it's 400 total feet of handstand walking. It is 100 total GHD sit-ups. 100 GHD sit-ups figure takes you 3.5 to 4 minutes if you're moving the entire time through them. Let's call it 3.5 for the fastest people on the planet. The 400 feet of handstand walking, let's just go ahead and say it's going to take also about 3.5 minutes. So there's going to be some athletes out there who might be able to do this whole thing in about 7 to 8 minutes, giving them 4 to 5 minutes to do the bar muscle ups at the end. Now that's if they're absolutely destroying the workout. I might be on the fast side there, but I always like to think about the faster side because there always are going to be people who can blow these things out of the water. Getting to the bar muscle up bar in general is going to be a pretty big accomplishment. I think that getting to the bar muscle up bar will allow you to get to the CrossFit games if you can get, I don't know, maybe 10 to 20 bar muscle ups. But if you do have that larger amount of time, expect to see people getting upwards of 30, 40, 50 bar muscle ups, especially in the 35 to 39 division. That's going to be super competitive. Then we get to the madness workout. This workout is, I remember I was reading the comments and I think there were 3 or 4 comments in a video I made about the semifinals workouts. I don't remember which video in particular, but everyone's like, why is there never a death by workout? Why is there never a death by workout? I find it very, very unlikely that somebody, namely maybe like an Adrian Bosman, is filtering through my comment sections like, oh, we should throw it a death by workout. I feel like these probably came out before any of the other workouts. Everything was set up and ready to rock. They had to put the videos together and whatnot. But the big thing we want to take into account when they're doing this wall ball madness workout is that the guys are going to an 11-foot target and the females are going to a 10-foot target. So I don't know if you can see, but up on my pull-up rig right there, the rogue right there where it says rogue, that is exactly 10 feet. So in order for me to do a perfect wall ball in my garage gym, the wall ball actually has to kiss the top of the wall and hit the target at the same time. So if I don't do those two things at the same time, I know it's not 10 feet. Also, if I were doing a qualifier, I need to go over here and I got to do them up in this hole. So I take out that little edX spot right there, and when I take out the edX spot right there, this is funny by the way, I'm just moving the camera around. When I take out the edX spot right there, then I can hit the side, I move over the entire freaking wall ball target so that I can clearly get the ball above the 10-foot line. I had to do it for semifinals last year. But when I'm training, I just make it look neat in the garage. Sometimes I'll go outside and I'll do them on the outside of the garage door. But if you're an athlete right now who doesn't have access to these things, you're going to maybe have to get a little bit creative because most gyms are set up for the 10-foot target. The 11-foot target might be throwing a couple of people off here. And that's okay. That's cool. I like the 11-foot target. I like the 11-foot target even more because it's an every 2-minute workout death by. So you start with 25 wall balls. You got to do 2 minutes. You got to do it within 2 minutes. If you do 25 unbroken to a 10-foot target, it takes you, I don't know, like 45 to 50 seconds if you're a very decently proficient wall baller. And then at the 2-minute mark, so you'd have a minute plus to rest there. You got to do 30, and then at the 4-minute mark, you do 35, and then at the 6-minute mark, you do 40, so on and so forth until you can't finish the number of reps within the 2 minutes. Once you're done there, you've got to do a 1 rep max clean and jerk within 5 minutes. So if, let's say I got through the round of 6 to 8 minutes and I failed, 2 wall balls left and I couldn't finish them in 6 to 8 minutes, then I have from minute 8 till minute 13 to do my 1 rep max clean and jerk. Again, everybody doing the Masters competition, hopefully this has gotten across to you, but that barbell that says 20 kilograms on it for the males and 15 for the females, they are not 45 and 35 pounds. They are 44 and 33 pounds. So make sure you get that right when you're putting your weights in for the computer. Guys, if you put a set of 45s on your bar, it's 134, not 135. Females, when you throw those 25s on your bar, it is not 95 pounds, it is 93 pounds. Big thing to note about this 5-minute window is that there have been workouts in the past where as long as you start the lift before the timer hits, so I told you that 13-minute spot right there, if you start the lift at 12:58 and then you have the barbell in motion, the lift will not count. It has to be completed before the 13-minute mark. So you probably want to give yourself 20-25 seconds to make sure you get everything in before it hits 13 minutes. You'll need a buzzer beater. You have to have the hands over the shoulders, over the hips, over the knees, fully extended, in control with the barbell over your head by the time it hits 13 minutes. Hope that makes sense. And then the other thing that is actually rather cool about the semifinal competition is that they've given you the workouts, and just like last year's semifinal workouts for the individuals, you need to share the password. So CrossFit will email everybody who's participating a password. Last year it was things like Quebec, something like that. They were like continental and regional related things, and you would have to say that thing. One of them was a coffee related thing. I don't remember what the coffee related thing was, but it says that you have to state them at the end of the workout. That's something that might be challenging for some people when you're all up and at them, so make sure that you say that password at the end of the workout. Don't fuck that up, because that right there might just DQ you, and that would freaking suck. If you do everything the right way, you have everything camera put in the right spot and every movement standard was hit, and then you forget to say the password. So just a quick little wrap up. I like the workouts. They're for bigger people, and that's okay. 11-foot wall ball target is kind of interesting. Super madness. I think people will probably be getting into about that range, the 6 to 8 minute range. The 11-foot, 10-foot target for the guys and the girls is going to throw off a lot of people's ideas of how far they're going to be getting. Also, I'm pretty appreciative for all of the athletes that they put that as the last workout. It's the last workout. They can't do these quarterfinal style where you can do them wherever you want. That is because of the passwords. You got to do them at the right time in the right order. And putting that workout at the end, make sure that they're going to be able to put in their best effort on the other workouts, because that wall ball one will probably destroy a couple of people. What do you think? Do you like the workouts? Do you feel the same way I do about them? How do you look at programming in general? Do you think about like the size of these athletes and making sure that's well-rounded from the start of the workout? I don't know. That's me. Like I said, not a workout programming genius. I just like to look at things and I like to compare things to other things, and I think that I'm pretty good at that. And Riller out.